listen and understand that Terminator is out there. It can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear. And it absolutely will not stop, ever, until you are dead.
Because when you come to America, you're a guest. And you have to behave like a guest. Like when I go to someone's house and I'm a guest, then I will do everything I can to keep things clean and to make my bed and to do everything that is the right thing to do.
What's up, everybody? This is Mike. Today we're going to look at this video hosted by the ladies of The View, where they interviewed the governor himself, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I thought this was a really fabulous interview because I can see the stark differences between he as a former governor of California and what we currently have in Gavin Newsom, even Gray Davis, and the worst of them all, Jerry Brown, in my opinion. I used to think in the past Governor Schwarzenegger was not a good governor because we started to get into racial identity, where at the end of his term, I believe he signed off on the execution of Tookie Williams, one of the founders of the Crips. And I just remember during this time, I was a little disillusioned about if Schwarzenegger, in fact, was a good governor. But when I compared Newsom, Schwarzenegger, and Jerry Brown, I think Schwarzenegger was a really good governor of California. And the funniest thing of this video of all is because I think the producers had to know at some point, one of the hosts on the panel, the conservative host, was going to ask him the charge question right now about the immigration, the big I word happening in Los Angeles. And I think at some point they had to know he was going to lean into his conservative point of views. And I just thought it was a really refreshing video. Anyway, why don't we just jump into it? Roll the clip.
If you were governor right now of California, how would you be handling the ongoing crisis that the state's facing?
I think the most important thing is when you are in a leadership position like that, is that you are inclusive and that you work together with everybody. And so it means that you have to work together with local government, the state government, and the federal government. They have to work together rather than fighting each other. Fighting each other's agendas and all of that stuff. That doesn't do good to anybody.
I think Schwarzenegger makes a really great point here. If you're my age, and I'm not going to pretend like I'm some type of political historian, but we've all know the stories of Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill, totally on the opposite end of the spectrums, but somehow they were able to work it out. If we look at Reagan, I think most Americans, at least on the conservative side, would say Reagan is probably one of the greatest presidents the country's ever seen. But in terms of what Schwarzenegger's point is, working together, trying to put aside political differences and really be inclusive, and then maybe we can make some progress. Right now we have this gridlock where we're stuck in party-first ideologies, and we're not getting anything done. Nobody's reaching across the aisle to really make substantive solutions.
And number two, the most important thing is to create immigration reform. Because all of this is happening because we don't have immigration reform. For decades now, this country has needed immigration reform, which means that we recognize the fact there's people in the south of America that want to come north to work.
Real quick on this point, I don't know if we need immigration reform across the United States, because it seems like a lot of the states in the country are able to hold up their end of the deal. But when we're specifically talking about California and other sanctuary cities, the way things are ran in California totally contrasts many states I've visited in the past.
And that we therefore should supply them with enough visas so they can come, because we need those workers. So this is the bottom line, because then we would know who is here. We will be able to get rid of the criminal elements that are here and all of this stuff, so we wouldn't be in a mess that we're in right now. So this is my way of saying always, Democrats and Republicans have to come together and solve this issue if they really want to be public servants. If they want to be party servants and be party hacks and be tied to their ideology, then it won't happen. But if you want to make this country better, and if you want to improve this country and improve the situation of people's lives and bring the prices down and all of this, you will go and serve the people of America. This is what it is. If you're a public servant, that's what you're supposed to do.
But, you know,
so that's what I would do if I'm governor.
Yes.
I think this is a great point because Schwarzenegger is talking about the politicians being public servants. This is what the point of being a politician was. You saw something happening in your neighborhood that you didn't like, that you didn't see changed, although you were trying to be proactive and interactive with the leadership, and it doesn't happen. Somebody like me, somebody that might be watching this video, then if you don't like the situation in your community on a local level, you run for political office. But these people, these Democrats right now, maybe more so than Republicans, but I'm not going to, put my foot in my mouth and say that. But it seems like if you don't have a social media presence, if you're not being invited to Met galas, if you don't have a certain amount of followers on social media, if you're not worth tens of millions, some of these politicians are worth tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. These are not people serving the better interests of the public.
As an immigrant yourself, you are an immigrant. You're an immigrant in this country. Yeah.
Oh, she's trying to get them with the gotcha question. We're not talking about an immigrant. We're talking about illegal immigration. She's trying to get them with the gotcha question.
Did you have a visceral reaction to what they're doing, what ICE is doing, when you see the videos of it?
Well, I tell you, you said that the immigrant, I'm so proud and happy that I was embraced by the American people like that. I mean, imagine I came over here with the age of 21, with absolutely nothing. And then to create a career like that. I mean, in no other country in the world could you do that.
Great brother!
Every single thing, if it's my bodybuilding career, if it's my acting career, becoming governor, the beautiful family that I've created, all of this is because of America.
That's true.
And so this is why I'm so happy to see firsthand that this is the greatest country in the world, and this is the land of opportunity.
Yeah, she's trying to set him up as if this is a man that came to the country illegally. This is what we're talking about. So they're kind of flipping the script on the narrative in terms of not being able to distinguish the difference between illegal and legal immigration.
This is what this is all about, is to celebrate people becoming Americans and coming to America and all that. And so I just think the world of the great kind of history that we have with immigrants in America. But the key thing also is at the same time that we got to do things legal. That is the important thing, you know. So you got to do things legal. And those people that are doing illegal things in America and that are foreigners.
Why is that such a hard concept for people to understand? I don't know what here is controversial. What are we talking about here? Why are people so triggered when you use the L word in front of immigration, legal immigration? It's crazy. I don't know why people just can't get on the right side of history when it comes to this topic. In my opinion, I believe the Democrats don't want any legal immigration because they're benefiting from illegal immigration. We know what's happening, especially in a state like California. Democrats don't want legal immigration. Hell no, prices will go up. Democrats are the main people talking about who's going to cut our lawns, and who's going to pick our fruits and vegetables. This is what Democrats talk about when they speak of immigration. Who's going to clean my house? Who's going to clean the skid marks from my underwear? Who's going to cut my grass and landscape my trees and garden? It's the Democratic Party. Democrats love illegal and cheap labor.
They are not smart because when you come to America, you're a guest and you have to behave like a guest. Like when I go to someone's house and I'm a guest, then I will do everything I can to keep things clean and to make my bed and to do everything that is the right thing to do rather than committing a crime or being abusive or something like that. So that doesn't really work in this country. So I think the important thing is when you become an immigrant, to think about, okay, I go to America because I want to use America for the great opportunities that America has in education, in jobs, creating a family, all of those kind of things. Then you have to think about, okay, if I get all of those things from America, then I have to give something back.
it's so I wouldn't say those people don't give back, but I think they give back to their respective communities. And I think that's also okay. If you benefited from programs, social benefits that would enable you to come in, get citizenship, get an education, put you on some type of pathway where you eventually become at least somebody as a long-term visa stay or some type of long-term resident, then you've already accomplished most of the goal is to just be here legally.
But you have a responsibility as an immigrant to give back to America and to pay back to America and to go and do something for your community for no money whatsoever. Give something back to after-school programs, Special Olympics, or whatever it is. Make this country a better place.
Arnold, don't forget, there's 90% of the people who come here are trying to do the right thing.
They're less likely to commit crimes.
And a lot of what's happening right now is people are getting snatched who shouldn't be snatched out of the country, people who have visas, people who have all those things. So,
false narrative. This is what The View is doing, gaslighting their own audience. These women don't even respect their viewers because we're not talking about immigration. We're talking about illegal immigration. Yes, there have been some flubs on the Trump administration where they've scooped up people that are legal immigrants and they got caught up in some sweep or raid. Most legal immigrants are not being swept up and hauled off back to their origin or countries of origin. We're talking about illegal immigration. So they've gaslit the viewer right now to make you think they've combined immigration with illegal immigration. We're not talking about that. And when they talk about this 90 percentile of immigrants that don't commit crimes, are we talking about legal or illegal immigrants?
we want all the right people. We don't want people who are doing bad stuff.
But they are less likely, immigrants are much less likely to commit crimes in this country than actually American-born citizens. And the other thing I just wanted to say is that Governor Newsom did not ask for the National Guard to come to, the federal government to come to California. There are 9,000 local law enforcement officers in California. Did he really?
Everybody has to follow the law.
I mean, look, this is a whole other issue because remember, the National Guard is under the governor's supervision.
That's right.
Yeah.
But, like for instance, when the National Guard was sent to Iraq during the Iraqi War, I was not the one that said, "Oh yeah, go to Iraq." The Bush administration came and said, "We need those people."
They came to you.
They came to you. And we need the resources, we need the equipment, we need the weapons, we need the vehicles to ship to Iraq. And then they ship
It's the
to
coordination.
Iraq. So that's why I say it is very important that we work together. It doesn't matter who is asking whom. The bottom line is we work together in order to solve the problem.
I know now why you cry. But it's something I can never do.
So what did you think about Mr. Schwarzenegger's point of view? Do you think he was out of bounds? Do you think he was right on point? I think the producers of this show had to know at some point one of the Republican hosts of The View was going to ask him this charged question about immigration. And I don't know if they really forgot he used to be the governor, and no, they had to know at some point he was a Republican. I don't know if people do their homework anymore, but at some point, I would have to assume the producers of the show knew Schwarzenegger was going to lean into his political ideology, that being a Republican conservative. So for me, this was really a refreshing interview. And I think, again, people that watch The View, I think they're being served up a plate of lies. They're being gaslit so much that I don't think they know really what's happening in the world of politics. And I think for me, when I heard, not necessarily Whoopi Goldberg for once, but when I see Joy Behar and Sunny Hostin try to throw out this kind of ambiguous statistic, like 90% of immigrants don't commit crimes, we're talking about illegal immigration, not legal immigration. So I think when they try to have these two topics overlap, I think they look really stupid. I think most people who watch this show, I don't know how you take these people seriously. I don't know what the benefit of The View is. I don't know if they're really talking about things in good faith, and if most of the topics and their talking points are really disingenuous. The way I see The View is just a platform to be able to create division in the country. And I think he did a really good job with just saying, keeping on point, how great America has been to him, how great America is, and how great America can be. Anyway, this is Mike. Let me know what you think about my commentary. Leave a comment, as always, in the comment section below. If you subscribe to my channel, I would greatly appreciate it. This is Mike. See you on the next one. Peace.
Goodbye.